Good morning. Good morning. Um, Listen, there was like an error message. Can you guys just kind of wave, let me know you're here, that you can actually see me? Um, but yeah, hey, good morning. So guess what we're doing today? Good morning, Barb. So good to see you. I hope. Can you see me? Today we are going to embroider on screen. You know that fabric like stuff that goes on the outer door to keep the bugs from coming into the house. Oh, thank you, Barb. I appreciate that. Like I said, there was an error message and it told me to try again. So, you never really know if you're getting through when you try again. So, yes, we are going to embroider on screens today. So, I've never done this before, but, never one to uh, not provide information. Um, I believe it was Barb. Barb, you were the one that was asking last week about stitching on screens. It's quite a hot trend right now. I don't know if it's because my search algorithms know that this is what I'm looking at, so it pops up every like 2 minutes now. Um, yes, thank you. Barb asked last week if I would stitch on screens. Well, here we are. Um, but yeah, I'm seeing these screens everywhere. But some of the questions is not asking or answering is what type of file, what type of screening, what type of stabilizer, what type of what type of what type. So that's what I want to do today. I want to, and I should have brought a blank one in here because I got enough screening. And before I forget, good morning, Cindy. Um, the links to the supplies that I used are on the YouTube. Um, on the YouTube. So screening, it's just that fabric like stuff that you put in your door or in your windows to keep the bugs out. Now, I want to assure you that this is safe. It's safe for your scissors, it's safe for your rotary cutter, it's safe for your embroidery machine unless unless you get the aluminum coated screening. Stick with the black stuff. It's usually nylon or fiberglass. Good morning, Jesse. Um, Fiberglass actually is, recommended for screening because it lasts a long time. But stay away from the aluminum coated screening. And I found this, I got a massively huge roll of this stuff for like $10 at the Home Depot. And I just cut it up into pieces to fit in my hoop. So, um, the other thing I want to suggest is have an idea of what you want to stitch on your screen. Um, I know it's Cindy. Cindy's saying she's never done a screen before. Well, here's your opportunity. Um, the design file. What is your ultimate goal with this piece of screening? Are you going to frame it and hang it on a wall? Are you going to I've seen a lot of people put it in hand embroidery hoops, those bamboo hoops, and hang it in a window like a sun catcher. Um, as a sun catcher, you're going to see both the front and the back. So you might want to take that into consideration, depending on how detailed you're going to be. You might want to match your bobbin thread to your top thread so that you get the same look front and back. The one thing, and I don't know if you can see that here. The one thing I did when I was stitching this first one is I did not change the bobbin. I had stopped it kind of midway through. I was using a white bobbin on the black screening, and it was visible on the front. So I changed out to a black bobbin. Keep that in mind. With screening, you can see through it. That's the idea. So you will see the bobbin thread through the screening if you don't change the bobbin thread. So I did change it to a black bobbin thread. Cindy wants to know, what do people do with it? What do people do with it? I have seen people frame it and put it in a wall frame. A lot of what I've seen is kind of a country-ish decor with the tin, the aluminum or tin framing. Um, Again, with the hand embroidery rings, hooping it and hanging them in the window for sun catchers. So again, what I want to suggest is that you know what your ultimate goal is, and find a design accordingly. For example, I, and please forgive me, I did not do the digitizing on these design files. I have been very busy prepping for Applique Getaway, my regular daily orders. I've got a lot of production going on this weekend. Plus, I still have to pack. I know I'm not leaving until Wednesday, but things just kind of build up. So I went to Creative Fabrica and found some embroidery designs. Now, just like any other stock site, you want to be careful with what you buy. If you look at this, you can see that there's a lot of travel stitches and jump stitches. Well, those all had to be trimmed away, but it was okay, no big deal. But this particular design is very open, which is why I chose it. It's very open. It has a lot of uh, visibility, low density, because that way it will hang in the window. And it was perfect for Mylar. Yeah. Now, this other design that I used, again, in the background, it's very open, but the butterfly itself is really solid. And I want to show you a technique that I use to keep those colors bright and vibrant. And here we go. And because I couldn't drag you all back over to the machine, I did a little pre-recording. So let's see. Here is video one. And there's no audio, so I am going to talk in advance, talk over it. So I just did a rough cut on some screening. And the first thing I want to show you is that it's not harmful to your cutting tools. I'm going to use the rotary cutter and cut that. Oh, thought maybe you'd like to see the screening I bought. Again, $11. This is a fiberglass screening. The thing is actually 4 feet long. That tube is 4 feet. It's huge. I had screening forever. Um, so, just like anything else, you want to cut it, trim it. And of course, I don't use my rotary cutter as often as I used to, so I had to loosen the little knobby. I keep it tight so that it doesn't go flopping around. But look how clean that was. Just boom. Fiberglass is that same stranding that's used in like strapping tape. So if you have no fear cutting through strapping tape, you'll have no fear cutting through fiberglass screening. And of course, I'm scissor cutting. So again, to show you that it's easy to cut. Of course, I'm just trying to cut the edge off, so I'm a little sloppy there. But look, it cut like butter. No problem. Now, both of these I'm stitching using my 10 by 10 hoop. Yeah, I bet you can, Cindy. Cindy was suggesting that we cover all the windows in the house. There's an idea. Oh, let me see if I can go back here. So again, we're cutting. And the one thing that I wanted to show you here, no stabilizer. I had thought about putting stabilizer in there, but I thought, hey, listen, maybe I'll do a demonstration of what happens if you don't use stabilizer, and then I'll do a demonstration with the stabilizer. It came out great. No stabilizer. Make sure that you're hooped securely. Don't stretch it, which is again, I really like the magnetic hoops for that, but don't stretch it. Um, and again, no stabilizer. All right. So we take this one over to the machine. Let me go get video number 2. So it's stitched. This is the first one. Excuse me. This is our cat. And no problems. Even with this particular file, which is, has all the travel stitches and the jump stitches, not one issue with the stitch out. Again, I did change the bobbin thread from white to black, and I got a much better visual. Now, we're going to set this up again. We're going to stitch the exact same design, but with Mylar. One of the things that I want to suggest is that you be aware of the grain, which is just the direction of the threads um, in the screening. Keep them horizontal and vertical. You really don't want to skew them. Then it's just you start to get. Oops, that was quick. Uh, so yeah, I'm a bit chatty, aren't I? So I laid the Mylar in there. So again, be aware of the screening position. It'll look better. It'll look um, it'll look right. And let's go to the last one. So bringing it back, I've stitched it with the Mylar, and I'm going to do a little fast framing here because I didn't think you'd want to sit through me fussing and trying to get all this Mylar out of here. And to be honest, at some point I just left it. I took the bigger pieces out of there as much as possible, but ultimately I left a bunch of it. So there it is, Mylar, yay. So we're gonna hoop another one. Oh, actually, we missed the hooping. We hooped another screen. Again, no stabilizer. This is going to be the butterfly. I stitched the first 2 colors, the 2 background colors, and here I'm trimming up those travel stitches, those jump stitches, and then I'm going to use, and this is just some product that I had left over. Um, trim, 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 trim. Um, this is some Siser's heat transfer stretch vinyl. And again, I use this because it is something that I had left over. What's going to happen is the white is going to give you a base for the threads to stitch onto for the butterfly. And this becomes important to keep your colors vibrant, especially if you're going to frame this piece. Put it its back against the wall. Um, it's not suitable for a window piece because you're not going to be able to see through it. It's going to have an area that is totally covered and totally black. Of course, I don't want to use the carrier sheet. The carrier sheet is that heavy plastic that is attached to the vinyl. So here I am trying to get it started so I can pull it away. And it is a stretch vinyl, so you're going to see that it's going to stretch a little bit as I'm pulling the carrier sheet off. And it's very thin, very lightweight. It's not going to be an issue. And then I thought, oh, what's going to hold it in place? Because I'm already hooped. I don't want to unhoop, so I'm going to use a little spray adhesive. And tap down. There we go. I like the KK100 because it does not gum up needles. All right, so I need to pull away the excess. Now I could probably wait until this is all done, but I'm going to pull away the excess now. And if I had to digitize this myself, I would have put, just like applique, I would have put a tack down stitch stitched over the vinyl so that I could pull it away. But this actually pulled away really cleanly around the edges, the outside edges of the border. So that was not a problem. Trim, trim. Go back to the machine. Take it back. Yay! I don't know if you noticed, but that hoop was marked happy. That fits on my happy embroidery machine. But look at how bright and vivid those colors are. I know. And again with the black bobbin thread. So here we are. I'm gonna hold these out. If I were to have used stabilizer, I was thinking of using the fibrous water soluble, the same stuff that we use for freestanding lace. In fact, for the most part, I treated this like freestanding lace in the sense that I had an open, dense background and I was stitching something on top of it. Um, but look, this turned out really nice, didn't it? You want to see the Mylar? Okay, remember, I got tired of pulling Mylar out. So there's some big chunks of Mylar still in here. Let's put this in the window as a sun catcher. Would that not be pretty? I know. Now I want to show you the butterfly. Remember, after I did the background parts, I put a white blocker down so that the colors would pop and be vivid. Now this one, again, this one would be perfect. God, I'm so unprepared. Do I have anything here that we can use? This one would be perfect in a frame. Maybe one of those wooden galvanized frames. Can you imagine a whole set of these on the wall? Yeah. Actually, I have a spare bedroom that this would fit perfectly in. I call it the cat's room. They spend more time in there than I do. So that is stitching on screen. Barb, did you have any particular questions? Um, does anybody have any questions regarding this technique? Again, don't be afraid to use your scissors and your cutting tools on this stuff. Not going to harm them. Don't need to worry about using your fabric scissors on the fiberglass. And there are this screening also comes in a nylon, so a nylon um, a nylon or fiberglass. Sorry, I got distracted. Cindy does that to me. Would the mylar work on the butterfly? I'm not thinking so because let me see if I can get rid of some of the background stuff. What makes it work on the cat, and I'm changing my screen background, is all this openness. Do you see all this? Of course you can't see it. Do you see all this open density on the cat? That's where the mylar is going to come through. On the butterfly, there's not so much of that. Though you wouldn't have the transparency, Cindy, but if you put mylar over the top of this, whether it be over the top of, if you put mylar behind the black filled layer, or even after the black and before the detail in the wings, you'll get some sparkle. You'll get some glittery sparkle effect. That would be nice. That would look good. But as far as expecting the same type of mylar effect that you get with this cat, with this open density piece, no, because there's too many stitches. It's regular density. It's a .4 density. But yeah, look, Cindy, you've never done this, but your wheels are already turning. And it looks so nice. I was really happy with the way it came out. Cindy wants to know what type of vinyl I use. Keep in mind that it was just leftover vinyl. It is a heat transfer vinyl. It was Siser's heat transfer stretch vinyl. And I have to admit, I started out because I have such a limited vinyl resource. I started out looking at what is that outdoor vinyl, the sticky stuff, the 651 something Oracle vinyl. And it's so thick and it's so heavy that I really didn't want to use that. So I started, what else do I have in here? And I started digging around. And I suppose one of the things I could have done was just used a sheet of white stabilizer and then, trimmed it away like I did, with tearing away the vinyl. But I didn't want to use the stabilizer because if this gets hung, if this gets hung someplace that's exposed to the elements, then that stabilizer might degrade. And I don't know. I was just concerned with the after effects of using a stabilizer as a color blocker versus something in a vinyl. So yes, I had the Caesar's heat transfer for stretch, and I had that left over from another project. I'm sure we've all got something in our stash that would work. Any other questions? Any other thoughts? While we're coming to the end of this, I want to remind people that I will not be here next week. I'm going to Texas, going to Applique Getaway. Hey, if you're in the neighborhood down there, come see us. It is an awesome event, great community, great people. Cindy, I think you're right. The high performance vinyl would chip away. It would get it would start to degrade. But come to Applique Getaway. Um, it's in Irving, Texas. You can Google Applique Getaway 2024. If you're on Facebook, it's in all of the crafting sites. I know Cindy's going to be there. Yay! Barb, someday, someday we're going to have to find a way to get up to you. Yep. Um, we'll have to see what we can do because I think it would be fun to sit down and, well, hey, Doug, Doug's here. I think it would be great to sit down and have, I don't know, you remember those old fashioned sewing bees, where everybody in the community would get together and they would stitch the quilt or quilting bees, sewing bees, or they would bring their projects with them and they would sit and just be a community and be, just I envision something like that. Just like uh well, Barb, didn't you say you had like a an away event that you go to? That that would be awesome. Okay. A virtual retreat. We might be able to put something together for that. That would be fun. Okay, going back to Doug here. Fiber-based backing do you use? Um, by name, I think it's called Beline. Um, but again, I didn't use any backing, any stabilizer for this project. And Debbie, it's okay. I, I I'm going to see Debbie next week too. Debbie is actually I'm going to stick around and visit with Debbie for a couple of days while there. She needs a little help setting up a white toner printer that she bought um, last year. That is, it's at least out of the box now, but we're going to work on that. Um, Doug, I will, don't let me forget, send me a message and I will send you a link to Amazon. It, it's not, it, I don't use the brand name because it's not necessary, but I will get you the name of that product. Can't wait. So excited. Don't tell my secrets. Ah, you have secrets, Debbie? Oh, yes. Yes. Cindy, meet Debbie. Debbie, meet Cindy. And we should plan to spend some lunch together. Yes. No. It has no secrets. All stitched up. I think that's where we got the bullying. All right. Probably did. Debbie thinks that she's met Cindy last year. Well, you're going to get a chance to meet again. So, yeah, this is going to be exciting. And I had, it's on my board here. You can't see it, but it's on my board. Somebody had somebody had made a suggestion that we repath a machine file. They had a file that would fit on the front of the hat, but it was not pathed bottom up, center out. So I think that's what we'll do when we get back. Now, I will be back for the 6th, and we can do that and talk about Applique Getaway. How does that sound? Does that work for you all? All right. And thanks, Doug. Doug and I had lunch. Didn't we have lunch? At Impressions Expo in California, Long Beach. Okay. So I have lots to do today. I have 2 big projects I have to stitch out so that they can go and be shipped on Monday. I have all my stuff I need to double check and find and locate and put together my class information, my class stuff. Yes, we did. We sat next to each other during the toolbox, the embroidery toolbox. Um, so I have lots to do. I'm gonna miss you all next week. Well, some of you I'll see. Barb, think about the virtual retreats. You all have a great weekend. Have a good week. If you need me, send messages. I am taking my computer and stuff with me. Um, I might be a little late, a little slow, but I'll get back to you. In the meantime, let's go ahead.
Wasn't that fun? Do you have more questions? Do you want to learn something new? Join me at quicktostitch.com for coffee and conversation, and we'll talk about it. Embroidery machines, designs, and business. Hope to see you soon. Bye now.